And this is part 2 of building a forestry trailer for as cheap as possible. And if you missed part 1, you probably want to go and check that out first to kind of see where we are. But the last thing we did in part 1 was just to go and get these 2 axles. And the first thing now is just to fix up the axles so they will fit on the trailer, and then just get them mounted to the trailer. So I got these pieces removed, and then I just got it all cleaned up, and I thought it would be really rusty under here. But as you can see, it's, well, rusty, but not pitted or anything, so that's good. That means it's still pretty strong. And now these are obviously way too long, so we're gonna have to make them a little shorter. And well, let's just start with this one. So we'll just have to measure it out somehow. I think we're gonna make it so it just goes out a little bit, kind of like that is, just a little bit outside the side of the trailer on either side, and then we're just gonna have to cut out a section in the middle and weld it back together, kind of like they already have done here. So I just went and got a pipe that is the 65mm pipe, because these fit perfectly inside that pipe. And first I thought to just put a small little piece to connect them, but I changed my mind and well, we'll just take a longer section of pipe and just slide this whole piece inside the pipe, and then just weld the pipe in this end, and that will probably make it a bit stronger. And then we just have to make sure that these are perfectly aligned with each other. Yeah, they are not put like that, and the other one like that, to exaggerate a little bit, but we just have to make sure that they are lined up. And if my math is right, this should be 126 millimeters, roughly, like that. And I got it fitting pretty good actually. This one just slid on the whole way, nice and easy, and this one was just a little tight and I had to knock this apart a little bit to get it the right length. And it is the perfect length now. So yeah, I probably could have cut this pipe a little longer, but yeah. Anyway, got that pretty well straight there and there. So now it's just to weld it together. So, got it welded up there. It's not the prettiest welds in the world, but should be strong enough, hopefully. And I did try to weld a pipe to this casting or whatever it is, not just to the inside pipe, because then I kind of connect these and it makes it a little stronger. I don't know, but should be strong enough anyway. And I just try to cool it down to not cook the bearings and seals in there more than they already were. And now this thing, well, it's actually not done. I got a couple more things I want to weld onto this, but let's get onto this axle now. But this is kind of done the same thing as we did there, just with a square tube instead of a round pipe. So what I think we're gonna just try to do is just to cut these welds off and just take this piece out, cut it off a bit, and weld it back together. So I got it all welded up here and I just cooled it down a little bit. But you can see here, this is pretty weak right there. Well, not super weak. I mean, it's plenty for a car, but we're probably gonna load this thing a little heavier than a car. So this is kind of weak here. It'll probably be fine, but you know, it's stupid to break something when it's pretty simple to fix, or at least help it a little bit. So what I'm thinking is just to weld a little piece of, I don't know, triangle. Just weld something like this right there, and that should make it a good bit stronger. Though I'm not gonna use 5 mil for that part, I'll probably use like 10 or something. Both sides, and also do the same thing on that. And I think that will strengthen that up quite a bit. And then I can't just weld this axle onto the I-beam back there, because then the tires kind of end up too close to this edge here. I want them a little further down, or as it is orientated now, it would be up. But anyway, what I'm thinking is just to take a piece of this square tubing and weld that onto that, 5 centimeters or so, obviously on the other side, on both sides, and then that will be pretty good. And I will also do the same thing on that one. So I don't know what you think, but I think that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. And there you can see a little plate there, just strengthen this corner up kind of here. Should be nice and strong now, and just those pieces under there to space the axles up a little bit. I think that all looks pretty good. So the only thing left now is to clean the I-beams up a little bit and get them welded on. And it's not just to put the axle on, you gotta have it exactly 90 degrees to the frame. Sadly, I didn't get these 100% aligned with his face, so I kind of have to sight down this to try to get it lined up. And I think I got it good enough, but you really want it at 90 degrees, because if you get it a little off, the trailer will kind of go sideways down the road. So yeah, that's not really great, so just have to try to line it up as close to 90 degrees as I can. And I still have to do that one, but I think that one is as close as I can get it, so let's get that tacked in place. So this tire is kind of in the way. It's the square is hitting it, so we have to remove it. Hopefully. Maybe. Maybe I have to get the impact. Oh, there we go. There you go, got the axles on there. I'm really happy with that. And we're pretty much all finished up on the underside. So we're pretty much ready to flip it back over, except one thing. And that is, when this is on level ground and both wheels are touching the ground, this hitch, or this hook, will be, well, now it's upside down. So the hitch of the tractor will be about here. So you kind of have to pull this down now, as it is now. So that's not really great. I would like it to be, you know, this, I want this to be actually laying on the hitch, which it isn't right now, if my math is correct. And there's maybe many ways to do this, but I've figured out a way which I think will actually be pretty good. And that is just to cut this off right here, or not cut it off, cut a little V like in this, and then just bend this up. So this goes up maybe 5-6 centimeters or something like that. And then I think it will be pretty good. I hope that made sense anyway. And I'm just gonna measure back here, maybe 30, I don't know, something like that. Square a line, and this pen is terrible. Then I'm not sure how much we're gonna remove, but I'm just kind of guessing here. I'll just remove that much, and then you probably have to cut more, but it's better to cut too little than too much. Just a moment. And I definitely cut out way more than I needed, and now I'll have a pain holding that back together, but it is what it is. So just try to weld it up, and I lifted it up 8 centimeters because this also has a little distance, and I was measuring from here, so I think that will be good. And now when I cut this here, I kind of weakened it, so I think I'm just gonna weld a piece of plate probably on both sides to make it a little stronger. So, still have to grind those well. They didn't turn out great, but should be strong enough if you just get a little plate on the side there. And with that welded up there, I think I got all the work done underneath that I want to do now. So the next thing is just to drag it outside and flip it over, but it's getting kind of late, so that will be tomorrow. And I have to just push it inside a bit. Now is it just a problem that I can't just drag it out, because then I will just scrape all the gravel with me. So, gonna have to figure out something else. Finally, it's the right side up. I think that looks pretty good. worked out pretty good moving that in and out and flipping it. Now we got some welding to do. This needs to be welded, that needs to be welded. Little weld there, and on the other side, and probably some welding in here the rest of the way. So yeah, we just got a pile of welding, so let's just get to it. So I just have spent an hour or something, maybe even more. Just went over this thing and just ground everything down and just cleaned it up. And it's actually looking pretty decent now. I just cleaned up all these and everything, and in the back here and a pile of other places. But now all the grinding is done, and I don't think I have much more welding left to do. But actually, we're gonna still have to weld the plate on there. I kind of forgot that, but anyway. And now for the tires. We just got two on here that holds air. And I haven't found any other tires that holds air, but we're gonna go into town in an hour. So let's see if we can find some rims at least that are good, and then we can get some just used tires put on them and maybe some inner tubes in them. So we get 4 tires that holds air. And I like to keep all at least the same steel rim like this. I like to just keep that rim, not different kind of rims that looks kind of ugly. So let's see if we can go and find 4 rims like this, or well, 3, actually just 2 more, because I got one here and the same kind of rim as the other tire. So so let's go and see if we can find 2 more. Just remove this tire here. And this tire doesn't hold air, but hope we can get a new tire because it's pretty bad. And also just put an inner tube so it holds some air. The rim itself is pretty good, but just the tire isn't that good. And then we can just put this wheel back on here. I think the bearings are a little bad on this one. And now we got these two tires and those back home. So we got 4 tires, or at least 4 rims for the trailer. And they're all the same, so it doesn't look all weird. So let's get some of these pipes cut out so we can, some pipes in these holders here, or whatever you want to call it. And I'm not 100% sure how long we're gonna make it, but I'm thinking 1 meter long from here, so we'll make it 120. And that might be too long, but it's a lot easier to make it shorter than longer, so we'll start with that anyway. So this pipe was actually pretty pitted, so I don't know how strong it is, but let's try to use it, and worst case it breaks and then we'll just replace it. So I'm not sure how strong those pipes really are, because just came a ton of rust out of some of them, but that is what I got. And if they end up breaking, well, it's just to replace them. But anyway, I got some of these and some bolts. And that's just because that's an easy pin, so we'll just drill a hole for there, for this and the pipes, and just put that in like that. Drill a little hole for this and lock it in place with one of those. And I'm gonna try to drill the holes in as much the same places I can, because I want all pipes to fit in all the places. Because it's very annoying if just that pipe fits there and nowhere else. That will be, if you take them all off and gonna put them on, that will just be a pain. So yeah, we'll have to just try to get it in the same spot as possible. And sadly I did not drill any holes before I welded these on in the drill press, so I have to drill the whole way through by hand, which kind of sucked. But anyway, let's just get drilling. I just made this piece so I can clamp this pipe in place a little bit. And I'm just gonna make this hole 13 mil, so it's quite sloppy, because then it will be quite sloppy, I know, but then also hopefully all the pipe will fit in all the places. Drill from the other side here, just because then I can make sure that it lines up in the center. If not, it's quite easy that it goes a little bit off center, and that just looks kind of ugly. Not because that matters a huge amount, but still, something like that, I think. And we finally got a new drill press instead of all the piece of junk that we had before. But we got a little electrical problem with that, so we just have to use my granddad's drill press for now, till we get our new one working. This is drill 7 more. just like that. And now it's just to do 7 more. So fun. So now we're finally done with this. Oh man, it's not fun drilling. It's really not. Oh man. So I'm pretty excited because this thing is pretty much finished, but I have 2 things left to do if I don't come up with anything more. But the first thing is to weld a little plate over here to strengthen that up a little bit. And the second thing is that when you pull in this pipe, I don't know how well you can see it on the camera, but this whole beam flexes quite a lot. So what I thought to do is just to weld a little triangle piece kind of in here, and I think that will kind of help it a little bit, maybe, hopefully. just been to the hydraulic shop. And I just been to the tire shop and got some new tires put on these rims. And I did go and get the last one there too, so all 4 rims got new tires on them. And I'm saying new, they aren't new tires obviously. They are just tires that they change, so they are too worn to have on a car, but there's nothing wrong with them except they are worn, so it's absolutely perfect for an application like this. And it doesn't even cost much. They throw them on pretty much for the cost of just putting them on. At least that's what I think. It's pretty cheap. But anyway, let's just get these put on the trailer now, and then this thing is done. And I think these pipes are probably a little long. Probably should have cut them a little shorter, but yeah, if they turn out to be too long, it's just to cut them off. And well, except that, I think it looks pretty good. Got these plates welded on there and these triangles there. And I don't know how well you could see it before, how much it flexed, but it was, you know, not a ton, but quite a bit. And you probably can't see it, but it's just flexing from here to there now, not the whole beam, because before the whole beam was kind of bending that way when I was pulling in the pipe, but now it's really stiff now, so that was definitely worth doing. But enough talking here, let's get these tires put on. That doesn't fit on there. Let's try this one instead then. That fits a lot better. This rim is different, it doesn't fit here either. That's freaking weird. And that means we are 1 tire short. That sucks. Huh. I just thought they were the same. I didn't even look at them, but huh. Supposedly this is just a little different. this axle. Probably should do something about that, but that's a future problem. So sadly this rim is just a little bit different. This hole is a little smaller and these are a little too far together, so it does not fit, which is pretty dumb, especially when I got a new tire put on that thing. But there's not much to do about that except to get the right rim and a new tire put on that. But I think this looks pretty nice, even if it's missing that tire. So it's a little while later here, and I got a new rim that fits there, and I got a new tire put on that, so we'll go ahead and get that on. And then also decided that we'll cut this off about 10 centimeters because I think it's just a little too high. Yeah, I think they're just a little too long. And another thing is that I kind of halfway forgot, didn't do, and that is that these axles are kind of weak. Or honestly, they are quite weak. But what I thought about doing is just to put a little piece of square tubing from here down to there, and that will, I think, add quite a bit of strength into that. Because especially if you're driving over bumpy grounds and you will put all the load on one tire, I think you maybe will bend the axle. I don't know, maybe not, but I think it's better to just put a little piece of square tubing there to strengthen that up than bending it. So yeah, let's start with just cutting these off about 10 centimeters. got these pieces welded on there. I think that should make it a good bit stronger. Maybe we should connect these two with a piece over there. I don't know. But anyway, let's go and get the tires put on here. And with those tires on, I think I'm gonna call this thing finished. And why I swapped that one out, that's just because the holes in that one is square, and also there it's square, but that one was round, so I thought it will all look the same. Not because that's really necessary, but I thought it would be kind of nice when I had 4 rims that had square holes. Anyway, I'm pretty freaking happy with this. Yeah, but it's getting kind of late, so let's get this thing out of here now. Some piece of shit. So, well, this is all kind of finished now. And if I should be honest, this is many months later. I just haven't gotten around to posting videos because, well, I haven't, and I didn't film a kind of ending to this, so I don't really know where I left off, honestly. I haven't even looked back at the video, but I just knew I didn't film an ending for it. But, well, I just got this whole thing hooked together here, so you can kind of see what it looks like. And also because it's a long time later, I have actually used this quite a lot, and it will come videos on that later, or in the future, yeah. So you can kind of see how this works, which I actually can say now when I used it, which I can say actually it works pretty good. I mean, it's not the best thing in the world on many reasons. One big reason is that you can't use the grapple to kind of hold the brush together, or logs or whatever, on the trailer, because it's mounted to the tractor. So that's the biggest thing. If you could see that, that hydraulic cylinder is leaking like a ton. Actually, all of them do. It's kind of useless now because it just bleeds off super fast. It has internal leakage, and also it leaks out. So actually, that's a project I'm gonna start in just a couple days to redo or reseal all the hydraulic cylinders on this whole thing. Anyway, yeah, I don't really know what to talk about. One thing that I did see here is that this has a very low gap here. I don't know. Well, yeah, right. I actually changed out these chains, which I guess when you see this video, you maybe haven't seen the video making this, or it might not be put out, I guess. And that is just to hold this whole thing kind of up. Because why did I do that? Well, that's because the hydraulic pump on this tractor is driven back here after the clutch. So as soon as you stop, push the clutch down, stops driving the hydraulic pump. So, and then because this is really heavy, this just goes down like that pretty much. So I made this to hold that up, which actually works really well. It kind of stabilizes it sideways too, so that actually worked really well. Then I don't have this on here because I had a trailer on, but I made some chains that goes down to the hitch there. So when you're digging and pushing down in the ground, it's not just gonna lift this whole thing up, it's gonna hold down. But well, yeah. I'm just really happy with this trailer actually. I mean, it's not the best thing or prettiest thing in the world, but it's functional and does the job. One big thing that would be good is to have a bogey, but I mean, it works fine like this too, because it's such a long time ago since I made this. I don't remember what I really talked about and whatnot, but I probably should have made a bogey, and that's just so the axles can kind of fall to the ground like that, or the tires. Because now if I drive over a bump, only one axle gets all the weight, which is kind of dumb. But actually, maybe I have bent one of these axles actually. No, you can't really see that here, I guess, on camera, but the front axle, the pipe there is not the strongest thing, so I kind of bent that, I think, a little bit, just a little bit, but not too bad. Why I didn't make a bogey is just because that's a ton more work. And also, if I'm gonna make a bogey, the wheels is gonna come up here. Then also have to make this like real forestry trailers, which is flat at the bottom, and then it kind of goes up like this, and that's to make room for the bogey or the wheels to come up. So yeah, that just added a whole lot more work and materials that I didn't have. Wanted to make this of just what we had, and well, that's what we did. Didn't buy a single thing for this except get some new old tires put on these rims here. That's actually the only cost, and if I remember right, that was about $15 per tire, so that's say that's a pretty good deal. And something I forgot to say is that the height of the tongue really, where it connects to the hitch, turned out absolutely perfectly. So it it lays on the hitch when both wheels are touching the ground, and yeah, that turned out good. And also, as I talked about earlier, that
You have to get the axles perfectly square to the trailer, if not it will kind of go sideways down the road. I didn't film that, but I have driven around to actually look for that, and for what this trailer is for, it's absolutely perfectly. It goes perfectly straight up to the tractor. But yeah, well, this is all finished now, and there will, as I said, come more videos on using this so you can see how it works. But well, for now it's all finished, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.